Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called The Shocking Truth About Poland Compared with Britain. So yeah, of course, I've seen comparisons about the economies of the country. I feel like there's no comparison with the growth. Poland is so much further ahead, or growing at a much quicker rate and much more impressively. Interested to see what else is compared in this video. Let's have a look. Tell me what you think.
Good morning, and today we're going to be comparing two very similar but very different countries at the same time. By the end of this video you'll understand exactly what I mean. We're going to be measuring which country is better, Poland or the UK, and we're going to compare them based on 5 different metrics. Number 1, safety. Number 2, cleanliness. Number 3, the vibe of the people there. Number 4, the architecture. And number 5, of course, the cost of living. Which one is cheaper?
I mean, I can already see who's going to win this. Maybe this could be a clean sweep for Poland as well.
Let's do a deep dive into both the United Kingdom, but also Poland as well. Let's do it. Number 1 is, of course, safety. Now, Poland is one of the most safest countries in the world, and probably in one of the safest, if not the safest, in all of Europe. Now, when I've been there, I've had absolutely no problems. I've been there now 3 times as of the making of this video. I've just come back from Wrocław in southern western Poland, and it was absolutely incredible. Not only the city was incredibly beautiful, but there's no people in hoods. There's no gopniks like you might hear about. There's nobody who's going to really even, to be honest, notice you that much. Like, you can really go about your day as a solo traveller with not a problem at all. There really isn't an issue going to Poland. Why is this, you may ask? Well, they have basically no immigration from countries that will inevitably increase the crime rate. So there's that for starters. Let's get the elephant out of the room, because I know most travel YouTubers aren't going to say that, but I will. And number 2, they actually have quite a lot of police per square foot there compared to the UK, and they actually have powers to do stuff about crimes. And there's also the national spirit of Poland. People love being Polish. Every time I've met a Polish person, who are great people by the way, they've got this national pride. They don't want to mess up their own country. They don't want to litter on the streets. They don't want to do anything bad. And as a result, you find the crime rate is pretty low in Poland. And
yeah, that's a good point. Like, and I don't see that. I feel like, again, like in Britain, I feel like a lot more people are becoming like less prideful in how, like, just taking care of the country, having some proper like manners. Yeah, again, he actually mentioned immigration. Do you think immigration has an effect on the safety, but also the pride in your country? You think having maybe more immigrants, people lose that pride? The people coming to the country don't have as much pride? I don't know. It's an interesting debate.
Brings me on to point number 2, and that is the cleanliness and local pride. There's such a big difference, isn't there? As I say, the local pride, it's night and day. It really is. English people are very ashamed to be English. Very ashamed. They're the least patriotic people you ever meet. That's why people just go around trashing the streets. Like, people don't really care, especially young people, younger than me. So, cleanliness on the streets. Poland, you will be hard pressed to find litter. Maybe after a Saturday night you'll find 1 or 2 vodka bottles. I'll be completely honest, it has happened before. I remember being at Gdansk and seeing the place, not a complete tip like the UK. You go to a small town in the UK and it will be completely night and day, obviously. There'll just be random shit thrown around, vomit everywhere. You won't find vomit in Poland on a Saturday night, at least from my personal experience. You will find a few bottles, of course, like any other city in the world. However, the point I'm trying to get across is Poland is one of the cleanest cities in all of Europe. The only downside where UK would win is pollution. Poland's one of the most polluted countries in terms of air pollution. So although there isn't as much litter, they don't necessarily follow every single regulation that the UK follows, and therefore the air quality in many parts of Poland is on the worst side of the quality.
Tell me more about that. It's not something
I actually
knew of before. Like, it seems quite bad, especially in the central part. Why is that? Is it traffic? What's the main cause? Is it industry? I'm not too sure. Italy as well, northern Italy got a lot interesting.
Many parts of Poland is on the worst side of the quality. So this one, I'm going to give it a draw. Next up is the urban design and architecture. Now, Poland has a mix of beautifully restored old towns, stark contrast communist blocks. As soon as you go into the centre, it's one of the greatest places on earth. As soon as you go out, to me, it's interesting. For most tourists, it's ugly. But the thing is, a lot of these old cities were built much before the First World War, the Second World War, the rise of communism, and then the outsides of those city centres were built around the outside. I think Noah Hutter, for example, in my Krakow video. Be sure to watch that if you haven't already. But we explore the old Soviet city, and it was absolutely incredible to see sort of the old brutalist designs there. Whereas in the UK, it's the complete opposite. Like the outside.
Yeah, tell me what you think about that as well. I kind of like, because that's one thing I do like about going to different countries, is seeing the architecture, just walking around admiring the buildings. I think it makes it interesting. Of course, like maybe people in Poland don't want to have that reminder of the Soviet rule, but for me, like it's interesting to see these buildings. I mean, I like this one, even though the buildings do have that kind of brutalist or that rigid look. So much greenery in here, it actually makes it look quite a nice place. Tell me if you've lived in one of these sort of buildings, what's it like? Where is this actually? Because it actually, the more I look at it, the more it looks very pretty. Nice big bridge up here as well.
But we explore the old Soviet city, and it was absolutely incredible to see sort of the old brutalist designs there. Whereas in the UK, it's the complete opposite. Like the outskirts are usually a bit nicer, a bit boring, but they're a bit nicer. And then sort of the city centres are the ones that are trashed. So it's very different. Why is the city centres in the UK trashed? And then on the other side, you've got Poland, where the city centres are lovely, and then the outskirts aren't the nicest places. Whereas in the UK, the outskirts are the nicest places, and the inside of the city is trash. That is the problem. Well, overall, I think Poland, it's the consistency. There are some beautiful places in England. Think the Cotswolds, think Bath, think Cambridge, some of the most impressive places in Europe. Don't get me wrong, but you'll be hard pressed to beat Poland, just because of every single city is a nice city that I've been to. And I know there's other cities that are also beautiful as well. So overall, I'm going to give Poland a narrow victory on the architecture and urban design. Next up, we got the cost of living. Now, this is probably the most obvious one. Poland's obviously a lot cheaper, right? Like I might do a YouTube video where I fly to Poland, because it's literally 30 quid to fly to Wrocław at the moment, or Krakow, or Warsaw. And you can do your groceries cheaper than it would be, including the price of the flight, than you would in the UK. So a lot of people do that now. I've heard it's happened. It has happened. In the UK, £20 feels like 40 quid. In Poland, when you're spending £20, it feels like you're spending a fiver. It's so much better. I mean, you buy a pint of beer, for example, a classic British example, I know, maybe a classic Polish example, but it's like 7 quid now in my town. It's bloody ridiculous. Like I earn minimum wage in my job. I can't afford to just have a pint after work every single day. It's absolute disaster. Whereas in Poland, it's literally £2. It's absolute night and day. And don't get me wrong, the wages are different, I get it, but the percentage of what the average person can afford in Poland is rapidly catching up and will soon exceed the UK. I can guarantee by 2030, 2035, it will exceed the UK for sure, because they're doing everything right in their country as far as I can see. From an outsider perspective, of course, I'm not Polish, I can't speak for the Polish people, but I can speak for myself. So I'm sure that will get better, but nonetheless, as a tourist, obviously it's a lot cheaper going to Poland. And last but not least is the attitude and the energy of the people. Now, there's a lot of similarities. British people moody, Polish people moody, on a very broad and looking out from a external perspective. But Polish people, when you get to know them, they're very friendly people. Same with British. In fact, they're very, 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 very similar. Now, UK is more like friendlier for small talk. It's not really a thing in Poland. Polish people only really talk if they need to, or they only be friendly with you if they see it. So if they see it, it's like a proper points to it. So you'll find Polish people might come across potentially more honest. Not like British people aren't honest, it's just we like a bit of small talk, or we want to be friendly with everyone, even if we can't be asked, really. Whereas Polish people will only talk to you if they really mean it. So it means your relationships with people and locals when you're traveling into Poland are a little bit deeper, a little bit easier to connect. And as a result, I'm going to give it the slight win over the UK. So let's recap. Energy and attitude of people, Poland win. Cost of living value, Poland, massive win, massive win. Architecture and urban design, we're going to do it as about a Poland win again, I think. Only a marginal Poland win, but I think it is a Poland win on there. Cleanliness and public pride, massive Polish win. And of course, safety, massive Polish win. It was a bit of a wipe the floor with this one. We've compared Bosnia, so what's that video? Serbia, Bulgaria, and soon Jordan and Egypt as well. And so far, I think the UK has lost every single time. But hopefully the UK...
Yeah. Tell me what you think about that as a Polish person, especially if you've been to Britain. Tell me how your experience was there and how it compares to Poland. Yeah, for me, like, I mean, before it even compared, when you think about those things, and I think about, even if I don't think about it on a Polish, with respect to Poland, I look at just on a British point of view, all of those things. Britain is just lacking, like, cost of living is pretty crazy in Britain, everything's so expensive. Cleanliness, pride in the country, the people, everybody is just, I guess they all kind of are interlinked in a way that it just makes everybody not happy, not motivated, and it's that sort of vicious circle, whereas Poland is on this wave of positivity and growth and excitement for what can happen in the future. How much further can Poland grow? So, I mean, maybe you can compare other things and maybe Britain might win some, but in this, yeah, I think that's fair for Poland to win like that. So, yeah, you can tell me what your opinion is as well. Thanks.